Alright, so as many of you who have been with me for a while know, no Onision video gets made without a follow-up Donald Trump support video. Because, it was funny. I in the comments, I don't know why, but for some reason, last night, I was just giving these long replies to comments and just talking. And I looked up, Joy's channel, and I looked at her first video, and I looked at my first Onision video, and her third video on her channel came out on the same day that my first video on Onision came out, right? So that's how close we are kind of starting. I had been doing kind of commentary for a couple of weeks before she even started, and we kind of pitched off the same way. She, I believe, was one of my first 100 subscribers. Joy is a subscriber of mine. I was one of her first 50 subscribers, right? So you can see how things have gone. So doing videos on Onision is very lucrative, because you get a shit ton of views, and from those views, you get a shit ton of subscribers. I get a shit ton of subscribers every time I make an Onision video, but, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I want you to understand what you're here for. You're not here to watch me shit on Onision. I don't do that. Generally, I don't give a shit what he fucking does. It's just fun to watch, the train wreck when it happens. But, right? The circus is always great to go to. That's probably a better way to put it. Anyways, so I want you to understand what my channel is. My channel is to help you. I like to think of my channel this way. I'm not an anti-feminist or any of that kind of shit. I like to try and just show people how I work my logic. You know what I mean? I think that I'm very down to earth. I think I'm very rooted in logic, and I like to just run people through my process. If you agree with it, fantastic. If you disagree with it, fantastic. I want to know about it either way. But it's not there to brainwash you. It's not there to make you think that my word is God's fucking word. No, I want you to question what I say, because I don't even know if I'm right. You know what I mean? I learn with you guys sometimes. It happens. So, but I want you to have the tools for critical thought. That's what I want. And if it takes, dissecting my thought process to figure out how it is I come to my conclusions, so be it. I'll take that. Figure out what makes me tick. You know what I mean? Because that way you'll know when later on down the road somebody's giving you shit. And you can say, oh, shit. It helps you. I hope. You know what I mean? I hope it does. But, I have my points of view. And they might not mesh with yours in the grander scheme. And there's going to be long periods of time between these videos. So, I want you to know where I'm coming from straight out of the bat. I'm a patriot. I respect the office. It's not the man. Somebody asked the Secret Service when they thought they were going to get a fucking quick one over. And they asked the Secret Service member, they said, would you take a bullet for Donald Trump? And the Secret Service member said no. And I wouldn't take a bullet for Obama. And I wouldn't take a bullet for Bush. And I wouldn't take a bullet for Clinton. But I would take a bullet for the President of the United States of America. There's a difference between the man and the office. You know what I mean? Say what you want to about the man. Say what you want to about his policies. Agree or disagree. But the office of the President of the United States of America demands a certain level of respect. No matter who's in it, there should still be a basic level of respect for the office of leader of your society. You know what I mean? It's the, I don't know. Whatever. So, We're gonna look at what Trump's doing. Everything's going crazy on YouTube, and there's a whole big world out there. What else is going on?
It's gonna be in the press. It'll be horrible. But I like that you're all a part of it. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
It's funny to me that people give me shit because I sound like I'm drunk.
I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. I lie for a living.
Now, see, honestly, I think the second part of the statement doesn't make it okay. Christ, here we go. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, the office demands a certain level of respect. You don't talk about killing the president. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but you know what? You don't scream fire in a fucking movie theater. You don't talk about killing the president. Like, it's just, you don't talk about killing people. You know what I mean? You don't talk about killing people. I don't give a fuck. Why is the president somehow different? If Johnny Depp would have said, you know what, I'd like to kill that lady over there in the first row, people would have been like, what the fuck? But because it's the president, somehow that's okay. But he did, after all, say that he's not an actor, he lies for a living, and that's, you gotta kind of give him credit for that, because, and here's where I'm going with the joke, this is a joke, everybody. If Kathy Griffin would have come out and said, well, look, I'm not really a comedian, I'm just kind of a fucking idiot, everybody would have been like, fair enough,
Meanwhile, President Trump has reportedly pitched Republican leaders on a solar-paneled border wall with Mexico.
Huh. I fucking hate when you guys do that shit.
Sounds like a win-win, right? Well, green energy and keeping our borders safe at the same time. Hard to go wrong with that. Bruce Blakeman is a principal with the Sustainable Technology, Inc. His company submitted a blueprint design for solar panels on the border wall, and he joins us live here in Studio F. Good morning to you.
Hi, Steve.
Thank you so much for not only being here right now, but on this planet at all, sir.
This is genius.
Well, we got together, a group of creative people, designers, engineers, homeland security experts, finance people, and we were kicking around the idea, how do you get that border barrier built, and can't there be a generating of revenue from that border barrier? And one of the engineers said, let's put solar on it.
And we all picked him up and yelled and screamed and clapped, and we shot off champagne bottles, and it was a fantastic day. I mean, come on. It's brilliance.
He made a brilliant design.
Right, because essentially by being a power generating station, the wall would offset the cost of the wall.
It would defray the cost of the wall by $40 million to $400 million annually, depending on how much per megawatt hour the market was.
That's just fucking brilliant.
Okay, so we're looking at one of the designs right here. Explain what we're looking at.
Yeah, dude, lay this shit out for us.
Well, we're looking at a beautiful rendition of the border barrier with the solar component. As you can see, it's mesh, it's steel mesh. You can see through it. There's no graffiti that can be put on it.
And all those people can still see and smell all that sweet free air that they're not allowed to have. Okay. That was dickish. That was wrong. I apologize. But it is kind of funny.
And it has a solar gathering component that can generate a tremendous amount of megawatt hours, 2 million megawatt hours per year.
Unbelievable. And for it to go out like that and up like that, it would be hard to climb over.
Exactly. Our engineers took a look at everything. They looked at the specifications, the security needs, and the solar gathering materials that would be required, and they came up with a great design, amazing design.
That's a cool design, man. And think about it this way. The fucking border stretches east to west. So it's like the whole day. the sun's just gonna be beating down on that fucking... Oh. What do you even say?
Here's one of the other things, aside from the fact that it would offset the cost of the wall, is the fact that it would wind up, you would think, because the political left loves things that are solar-powered, they'd love this. Oh, wait a minute, we love it, but we hate it. We love it because it's solar-powered, but we hate it because it's a wall.
You know what's going to be funny? Since Thunderfoot has left the skeptic community and now he's an SJW or whatever, you think he's going to do a video, like, debunking... Like he's gonna bust the border wall, the solar wall. You think? I bet you he's gonna do it because he's got the whole solar roadway thing to fall back on. Oh, we're gonna have to rewatch all of the same footage from fucking solar roadway again.
Exactly, and the best thing about it is we could sell the energy to Mexico, so in fact they would be paying for the wall.
And it's clean energy too.
So it's a win-win-win.
Okay, so it's a fascinating idea. Has the president at all given any indication that he likes this idea?
Yeah, I'm sure that President Trump would look at this and go, solar. And they'd go, yeah, yes, Mr. President. And he'd go, it's genius, do it. Fucking...
Well, he hasn't said we particularly like sustainable technologies idea, but he did have a meeting with Republican leaders and talked about a solar gathering component on the wall. When you think of the southern border, I mean, it's the perfect place. You have sunlight there more than any place else in the United States. So it's the perfect place for a solar farm. This would, in effect, be a border barrier with a solar farm.
And what a great use for all that, like, unused fucking land. I mean, as long as I don't know. I'm looking at it with the wonder of a child right now. It's Santa Claus to me. You know what I mean? It sounds so perfect, but it sounds so perfect. Like, yeah, like, honestly, I really do kind of hope that Thunderfoot kind of works through the possibilities of the technology actually being there, because if the technology is sound, holy shit. I mean, but if the technology is not sound, then fuck. But, like, if the technology is sound...
And would it stretch from sea to shining sea, or would it just be a couple hundred miles here, a couple hundred miles there?
Fuck it, man. Do the whole goddamn thing. Why not?
We believe that if you take the critical hotspots where the crossings are occurring, basically, if you did 300 miles, you could cover 80% of those illegal crossings. If you did it in the micropolitan and the metropolitan areas such as Yuma, El Paso, Del Rio, and El Centro, and build out from the center of the border crossing 30 to 50 miles in each direction, east and west, you would eliminate 80% of the illegal crossings. The rest of the patrols could handle from land and air the rest of the monitoring.
God damn, I hope the technology's sound.
This is Infrastructure Week at the White House, where the president's been talking about fixing everything, where he's got all sorts of alliances between public entities and private entities. Any possibility you could put a bunch of people together to finance this thing, and then through the solar energy that it produces, it would pay for itself and you wouldn't have to go to Congress?
Well, that's our plan, Steve. We believe that this is a public-private partnership deal. Basically, what would happen is we would enter into a contract with the federal authority to sell them the energy. They would then sell the energy to a grid, and the revenue derived from it would go to pay for the bonds that we would have to finance the border barrier by.
Fuck my sugary butthole. You gotta be shitting me. Wait a minute. You mean this wouldn't even actually have to be taxpayer funded? A private company could just build all of this and go, look, we'll sell the government the fucking power, and then they'll pay us back with the... How do you say no? It's shit. It's mind-blowing. It's so cool. God, I hope the technology's sound. Ugh, it's such a concern. Whatever, man. What a great idea. At least we're going in a fucking new direction. You know what I mean? Capitalism. Capitalism. Fucking government has no reason to think of this shit. Private companies, though, they're like, we can use that for something. Capitalism, people. Let's get with it. But certainly Donald Trump himself has said something outlandish and horrible and terrible. It's been weeks since I paid attention to what he's been doing. I'm sure he's done something just awful. What is it?
The legendary Wall Street genius Wilbur Ross here. He's our Secretary of Commerce. We have Gary Cohn, who is the president of Goldman Sachs. In fact, he's the president of Goldman Sachs. He had to pay over $200 million in taxes to take the job, right? So somebody said, why did you appoint a rich person to be in charge of the economy?
What did you say?
I said, no, it's true.
I believe you. What did you say?
And Wilbur's a very rich person in charge of commerce.
Yeah.
I said, because that's the kind of thinking we want. I mean, really, because they're representing the country. They don't want the money. They're representing the country. And they had to give up a lot to take these jobs. They gave up a lot.
Sacrifice for your country, man. That's a patriot. Well, I don't know. That's pretty cool.
When you get the president, this is the president of Goldman Sachs, smart. Having him represent us, he went from massive paydays to peanuts, to little tiny. I'm waiting for them to accuse him of wanting that little amount of money. They wanted that.
Haha, CNN.
But these are people that are great, brilliant business minds, and that's what we need, that's what we have to have, so the world doesn't take advantages of it. We can't have the world taking advantage of us anymore.
Yeah! Woo!
And I love all people, rich or poor, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense?
See, alright, now, it's almost like we've come around full fucking circle. Is it nice to say? No. Is it true? Yeah. Do we want to hear it? No. But do you need to understand that? Yeah.
Does that make sense? If you insist, I'll do it. But I like it better this way, right?
He's a troll, man. He's a really good troll. He knows how to say he knows how to. This is where the Donald Trump is playing 538 dimension chess thing comes from. Fucking, he did that shit, right? He could have just made his point. I want to have somebody that understands money, and who better than the president of Goldman Sachs? You know, he could just say that, make that good point, and just be fucking done. But he's got to give, Rachel Maddow something to bitch about for the next fucking, 3-4 months. So, he says some shit like that. And is it phrased properly? No. But is it true? Yeah.
you.